Bang. We're
Bang,
live.
we're here. I'm in a great mood, dude. I know we're in like totally opposite moods right now. This
Yeah,
was rivalry weekend, quote unquote, and I guess the Yankees' main rival is the Mets and not the Red Sox. I mean, that's what we call it in-state rivalry weekend, right?
Yeah, like interleague rivalry.
Yeah, interleague rivalry, proximity rivalries.
Yeah.
We played a Subway Series against the Mets, and that's always fun. Everything regarding Juan Soto. You guys had the Ohio Cup. The O Cup, and you guys dominated the O Cup last year, didn't you?
Dude, we've dominated it for like a while now. If you look at the Ohio Cup series, I mean, shit, we primarily have dominated this. Let's look back at the history. We've won. Where do I just get like the series? Here we go. So we are. I mean, since 2010, we are 44 and 31 in the Ohio Cup overall.
Yeah.
Won the overall series each of the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14 years we've won the overall series of the Ohio Cup. Which is actually fucking wild.
You guys have been dominating them. Here we go. Two parts. Well, you weren't able to watch a ton this weekend because you were out of town.
I was out of town. I was at a wedding all weekend, and it was funny, dude. Like the venue, I got there Friday. Venue literally had like zero service. So it was impossible for me to like watch. And meanwhile, I'm thinking, oh, sweet. Like I'm in Jersey. So like the blackout rules won't apply on my phone. I can watch the game at times. Bro, the service is so dog shit. I watched a couple innings of Yankees Mets, and that was like the only baseball I watched this weekend. But yeah, dude, I watched the recaps on Twitter and shit, and it's like just no offense for the Tribe, which has been the story, it seems like all year. Just inconsistent offense, and this series was just bad for them. I mean, 6 runs in 3 games. Honestly, from what it looks like, now I didn't watch the full starts, but like the starters actually pitched pretty well. Like Ortiz, 5 innings, 2 earned runs yesterday, 7 Ks. I think the day before that was Slade Ciccone made his Tribe debut on Saturday. He threw 5 innings, gave up 3, but 8 Ks I think was huge. Bybee was not his typical self on Friday. That was the only kind of, I thought, dud of the weekend. He threw 6 innings, managed to only allow 4 earned runs, but gave up 10 hits in 6 innings, which is like, that's not ace level stuff. So
no, definitely not ace level stuff.
Just a tough weekend.
Tough weekend, tough pill to swallow. I think losing the Ohio Cup feels also worse because like Terry's on that side now too.
Oh yeah, 100%.
Like that makes it worse. I mean, honestly, here we go, Pat. Like I don't really care about the Ohio Cup most years, but like this year, I found myself a little bit more interested.
Yeah, to me, I don't put too much emphasis on it. It's like.
No, it's there, and the thing is, like these inter league rivalries, there's not the emphasis is bragging rights. Like that's all it is.
Yeah,
like it's not a World Series, it's not a division foe. The emphasis is we play in the same town, we play in the same state. Let's go clash it out because it's a good chance for one of the two fan bases to feel really good this early in the year.
Yeah. Oh, 100%. And honestly, what's funny enough is that we still haven't officially lost it. Because we have 3 games in Cleveland, and if we sweep them, the tiebreaker is run differential.
Right.
And the Reds didn't really blow us out in any game this week. So if we have won like 10-0 thumper en route to a sweep of them in June, we could make it 15 straight years of an Ohio Cup. So we're not giving up the ship just yet. All right.
You want to hear something wild that was probably gonna make you feel old?
Let's hear it.
The Reds 7th inning guy or 8th inning guy, Luis May.
Okay.
He's new. He's young.
Yeah, I was gonna say I don't know much about him.
He just started getting some play. His favorite player growing up, Aroldis Chapman.
That's wild, dude.
Isn't that nuts?
I mean, you think about it, it tracks though. I mean, when was Chapman on the Reds? Because that was like, God, he debuted in 2010. So spent his first, 6 years in the league with the Reds.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I mean, shit, that kid is how old did you say he is?
I think he's 21.
21. Damn. So yeah, he would have been fucking, I mean, that's 15 years ago. He would have been fucking 6 years old watching Chapman debut. That's crazy.
It's nuts. And he throws one-on-one he pitches like he's young Chapman too.
Mm-hmm. I mean, honestly, if you look at Chapman's career, it's kind of insane what he's done.
No, dude, he hit
16 years now.
He hit 103 over the weekend when you were gone.
Damn, 103
as a 37-year-old.
That's insane. And like is still posting elite numbers like everywhere.
Yeah. No, he's really good.
It's crazy. And he kind of did revitalize his career because what was it? His last year with you guys, wasn't he kind of ass?
Yeah, bro, New York's not for everybody, man.
But like he was good for you for so long. I just felt like his last year was bad.
He caught some barrels.
Yeah.
That's really what it is. He caught some barrels, and honestly, like Chapman in Yankee Stadium is awful.
Okay.
Because
he's better on the road.
Well, no, here's the thing. No, just like think about optically, like everything we know about baseball. Flamethrower.
Mm-hmm.
If you are late and tap it up in the air, it's a threat to go over the fence.
Yeah. I mean, that's true.
So it's like at least that's what I would continue to tell myself whenever we would see him blow saves. It's just like the short porch. See,
for me, and for me, it was never like that was never the concern when I was watching him.
And a little wild too. He was a little wild.
Yeah, that's what it was for me. It's like when he was at his worst, it wasn't because he was like catching barrels. It was just like you couldn't even guess where the pitch was going to end up. And then the wild pitches, guys scrapped together hits, and it felt like an inning could really get away from him in that sense. But definitely at Yankee Stadium, the short porch with that flame throwing mentality.
Yeah, like that's the short side. But
yeah.
Okay, a couple things. I guess where do your Guardians go from here? How concerned are you? All right, here we go. We'll start here. They got swept by the Reds. Yeah. I don't want to live here for a long time, but they didn't look good against the Reds. It's super simple.
Yeah.
You guys now have a day off today, right?
No, we start this. So we are in the midst of.
You're in the middle of your 13er.
Yeah, 13 games in a row was what started on Friday. So now we've got 7 games in a row. For this whole week, all against divisional opponents. So like, this is like, all right, the Red Series happens. Listen, it's a 162 game season. You're going to have duds. You're going to get swept. It's only a matter of time. That shit happens throughout a regular season. For me, it's like, put that behind us. We've got 7 games on the road, 3 against the Twins, 4 against the Tigers. Like, this is where you kind of make your move. And it's like,
I would like you to address those teams properly. The first place Tigers and the second place Twins.
Absolutely. You know what? I mean, the Twins are the hottest team in baseball right now. So we're catching them at an interesting time.
Are they the hottest team in baseball?
Yeah. What did they just win 13 in a row before?
I can't tell you the last time the Tigers lost.
I mean, the Tigers are hot as well, but the Twins won what, 13 in a row, I think, before they finally dropped one over the weekend.
All I saw was 4 days ago, Carlos Correa and what's it called, Byron Buxton run into each other, and I saw them cut to the Twins GM or whatever. I saw the eyes get all big, and they both left the game, but they've continued to win.
Yeah, no, they have continued to win. But you always knew those guys were going to get hurt at some point, so I'm not surprised there. But yeah, no, I mean, Twins are the hottest team in baseball. We're catching them at home, which they're 15-6. I think that's the second best record in the American League at home behind the Tigers. The Tigers and the Twins have the 2 best home records in the AL.
Wait, the Twins have not won 13 in a row.
No, they did before they lost.
Yeah. Okay, so they've won
13 of 14 basically now.
Yeah, 13 of 14. Okay. That's a good note because they're not. How crazy is that? I mean, they're 9-1 in their last 10, and they're still 5 games behind the Tigers.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, shout out to the Tigers. They're finding ways to win games. I mean, that series against Boston last week, we talked about
the sweeps,
some of the heroics, from Javi.
Is this? Wait a second. Pause. Is this week the most important week of your season? So, like to date?
Oh, without a doubt.
Okay,
without a doubt. I mean, for me, it's like this is where a lot of my takes are going to come to fruition either one way or the other way this week. As I said before the year, I think this division is going to come down to Cleveland and Kansas City. And right now we're 46 games in, 47 games in, and we're looking at Detroit and Minnesota, top 2.
Mm-hmm. And you're tied with Kansas City at 3rd.
Yeah, and now we're tied with Kansas City. So it's like, all right, this is we're gonna see where my takes are going, or pretty early on in the season. But yeah, if you're Cleveland and you go 2-5 in the stretch, like if we go 2-5, this year is gonna be tough.
Is this like the linchpin where we could see Detroit run away with this division?
Absolutely. I think 4 games against the Tribe at home, if they were to sweep us, I mean, shit, that's putting them, say everything stays the same and we head in to Thursday 5.5 back. I mean, that's a huge, flip to then 9.5 back. I mean, that's a lot to overcome. And again, it's May. Nothing's going to be set in stone after this week. But for me personally, like, yeah, I need to see the Tribe go 5-2 this week. I don't care how you divvy up the 5, but for me, 5-2 is kind of the bare minimum. I shouldn't say that. The bare minimum for me would be 4-3. Like you got to come out of this with a win in order to feel good about yourselves. I'm looking at go 5-2. That's got to be the benchmark for me in terms of, all right, I feel comfortable that we can win this division.
Yeah. Yeah, no, it's funny because it feels like some divisions are like in some weird like in between phases in terms of like, okay, like this could get ugly here, or teams could have a big week and keep things kind of close. I mean, I don't want to dive too far to the Yankees world right now, but right now, dog, we're 5 games up on the Red Sox.
Yeah. I mean, that division, the AL East has probably been the biggest disappointment in terms of a division this year, right?
Yeah, because we have 27 wins, which would, put us 1 game ahead of Minnesota and the Guardians.
Yeah.
But we are 5 games up on the Red Sox.
And I mean, you talk about, I think the biggest disappointment and just kind of staying in the AL East so far is, my God, if you had told me that May 19th, the fucking White Sox would only have 1 less win than the Orioles, is mind-boggling.
Dude, I don't know what the Orioles do. I mean, obviously they fired their manager really early in the year. That's, a wild thing. But they're so young. They have to be trade deadline sellers, though, right?
Well, no. They're just select pieces, right? Because like
Cedric Mullins, like they need to move on from Cedric Mullins, right? Like
I was going to say, like the 3 biggest, I think, trade pieces for them right now are probably Mullins in terms of lineup, Mullins, O'Hearn, and Mountcastle. I think you move from those 3 guys, or at least 2 of them.
I would thought you would keep Mountcastle.
He's their longest tenured, I think.
He's still so young, though.
Yeah, but like, I don't know. To me, what is he? He's 28.
Okay, I thought he was 27.
I mean, still, but I mean, you're right. He's been there for 6 years now. So I don't know. To me, he's only gotten worse if you look at it. So like, I used to be high on Mountcastle. I no longer am. So I think like he's a guy that they should get rid of. I think
they move on from O'Hearn and Cedric Mullins. I mean,
and you could get and those are funny enough. Like probably their 2 best players right now. So you could probably get a good haul from them. And it's like, if you're a Baltimore fan, you can't completely overreact to this, because I do think that their young core is going to bounce back. And a lot of those guys are struggling right now that I don't think will for prolonged, lengths of their career.
Well, and you can move on from O'Hearn because obviously like Mountcastle's going to be back.
Yeah.
And like that's a spot. And honestly, like this is going to be the most you'll ever get for Cedric Mullins.
Yeah. Because he's completely bounced. Like, I thought maybe we were seeing him start to decline like 2 years ago, but damn, dude, from like, I mean, yeah, his OPS is the highest it's been since his All-Star campaign in 2021. So,
and I don't know how long he can keep this up, because remember his average earlier this year was like 290. It's dropped all the way down to 227.
Yeah,
the OPS is 782. They need to move on from him right now. He still has 9 home runs, which means he's showing a lot more pop. But a 30-year-old, just started hitting left-handed 2 years ago. Like, they need to move on from him ASAP to get some pieces. And honestly, like, I don't know who. I mean, you guys could use the bat and the everyday outfielder, right? Or is that too low of an average for you guys?
I mean, no, I don't think so. But I don't think they'll go after a guy like Mullins. To me, it's like, I don't know. He doesn't
move the needle enough for you guys.
No, it doesn't move the needle enough. Okay. I mean, we really need power, and like that's the biggest thing with our outfield.
He doesn't have a ton of power in the bat. But no, they've been atrocious, and honestly, like that's been one of the really helpful things, like for my Yankees, is how bad the rest of the AL East has been.
Oh yeah.
Over the weekend, I don't know if you saw this, but the Dodgers got swept at home by the Angels.
Honestly, the only thing that made me feel better about this weekend as a Tribe fan. It's like, all right, well, at least we're not the only ones going through it. Like the fucking Dodgers got swept by the Angels. So
yeah. So the Dodgers getting swept puts them in a really interesting spot. They are 1 game up on the Padres. It's intriguing because the Padres wanted to be sellers at the first part of the year.
Oh,
they
yeah.
wanted to sell. I wonder as we get closer, and now it's really early to talk about the trade deadline. I wonder closer and closer we get if they feel like, okay, like we can sink our teeth in and compete a little bit, or do you think they will sell? Because remember, they've wanted to move on from Cease. They wanted to move on from King. They're waiting for the right offer. Obviously, Cease struggled early part of the year.
But he's starting to figure it out.
Yeah, no, he had a really good outing against the Yankees.
Mm-hmm.
And they ended up losing, thanks to belly bombs, post 420 belly. But I'm interested. I don't think it's good for me, at least, that the Padres are hanging that close because I want them to sell.
I don't think. I mean, they're not selling at this point, right?
No, they're 1 game back of the Dodgers.
Yeah. And I think that was all low key, some sort of BS, because we know the Padres don't like to sell. They like to.
No, but remember, it's new ownership.
I know, but I still think that there's pressure within that organization somewhere that like you have this core now and this lineup, and now you've got 3 guys at the top of the rotation that are ace level starters. So it's like, to me, it never made sense for me why
Pat,
they were going.
I'm telling you right now, there is not a chance that Cease and King are both on this team after the trade deadline. There's not a chance. And that doesn't mean they're not a playoff team. That doesn't mean that they're not going to keep trying to win. But I can guarantee you one of those 2 will be gone. And you know what it will be like if they go to make the playoffs? It'll be like when Detroit moved on from Flaherty.
Yeah. But the thing was, Detroit was in a rebuild. Like, the Padres aren't supposed to be in a rebuild.
The Padres are not going to lose Michael King for free. They will not do it. And honestly, right now, they're not in a rebuild, but Michael King is worth a bat and some relief guys so they can still get a package back of MLB players and still be in a decent spot.
I mean, so are you saying this? You're saying this as a fan who wants them to sign Michael King in the offseason. Do you think – I think the Padres should re-sign Michael King.
This new ownership group? No. Michael King is not – Michael for two things. I love Michael King.
I know. You're saying this with the Yankee blinders on, wanting him to come
home. No, that's not the Yankee.
That's where you're saying this.
Michael King has a chance to pick up his option. Remember what? It's a mutual option, right?
Yeah.
If they both agree, they can pick up an option. Michael King has not picked up an option. Michael King will not talk about an extension. And Michael King came back to New York and got cheered and grooved a couple of fastballs and was all huggy. He gave Michael K a kiss. I mean, you know, when the Padres see that, and Padres are like, oh, yeah, we could just ride this out.
Then they'll do that. They're not going to trade Michael King.
You don't think so?
Absolutely.
So here you go, Pat.
All right, if there's still a game out come the deadline, no fucking way.
So you think that Michael King and Dylan Cease are both going to be on this team after the trade deadlines, both of them?
As it stands right now, like in terms of if they are still within striking distance of the Dodgers, yes, they will be. And by striking distance, I mean within 3-4 games and comfortably in a wild card spot. Okay. Yes, they will both absolutely be on the Dodgers.
I don't think so.
I mean, on the Padres. My
bad. I do not. Oh yeah, I hope they're not on the Dodgers. I would.
Yeah, honestly, they might be. Yeah.
It'd be a bad deal. So no, it's so there we go. It's a big stretch for the Padres as they're trying to keep pace with the Dodgers. Yeah. But here's the thing about the Dodgers. The Dodgers have help on the way. Like they're kind of beat up right now.
They're always beat up though. This is the nature of the pitching staff for the Dodgers.
Bro, they've got the worst. They've got the worst pitching training staff in the MLB. I'm convinced.
Oh, it's not even close. It's like, when's the last time they've gone through a season without 3-4 guys in their rotation get hurt? And that's not to mention, I think they've done a terrible job at developing some of these guys.
That's what I'm saying. Like, they're bad at developing. Guys feel like their mechanics get worse or they get more. Here's what happens. You go to the Dodgers, you get more spin on your pitches, and then your elbow pops off like it's pulled pork.
And it's not even that, too. It's like, Like
shoulders, lats, calves, like their pitchers go through all kinds of bizarre,
all sorts of
soft
injuries.
tissue injuries.
All sorts of injuries. And with all the insane spin that they're giving these, especially the young guys, you're not seeing it result in effective outings or strikeouts. Like Bobby Miller, Dusty May, like these are guys that should be fucking with the stuff that they have, they should be lights out.
Dude, Bobby Miller being ass after the start that he had is so bizarre. Yeah. I was on the phone with my boy Tyler. My boy Tyler actually on a show. Shout out I-71. We're doing a show together, and before the show, we were talking about pitchers. And he doesn't watch a lot of West Coast sports in general. And I was talking about like how I cut Dustin May for my fantasy team and like Dustin May's ass. He's like, I think he's nasty. I'm like, yeah, he is a highlight pitcher. Like his 2-seamer is nasty, but if you look at his ERA, he is getting tattooed.
Yeah. No, it's 100%. Like he went viral. What was that? 2 or 3 years ago when he first got called up for the nasty run on his 2-seam, and since then has just been like if you look at his Savant page, dude,
he's all in the middle, bro. He's just a league average pitcher,
dude. It's not even like his xERA, xBA, average exit velo, chase rate, whiff rate, all 31st percentile or worse. And for the stuff that he has with the movement that he generates on his pitches, the spin, like it shouldn't be that way.
Yeah.
To me, it's like that's the biggest difference between, and I'll throw you guys into it too, because shout out Matt Blake, there's pitchers and there's throwers. And I think what the Dodgers do is they create throwers. They don't create pitchers.
Yeah. I mean, guys don't sequence. They just go out there and just throw and try to make highlight pitches.
How much spin, how nasty can your pitches look? Regardless of location, regardless of tunneling, regardless of sequence. That doesn't matter to the Dodgers. And that is why I don't think they are a dynastic threat. Like I get all the superstars they have right now. And I know the window for them over the next 10 years is like, you got to win 5 to make this worth it. They're not going to sniff 5 unless their pitchers can stay healthy and they figure out a new development program for their young guys, because right now, no way.
Well, they're getting young guys and old guys hurt, right? Like Snell's hurt, Glass is hurt, Rocky's hurt, Kershaw literally just got back. And I can't remember the last time Kershaw was even pitching well for the Dodgers. No. So
Dustin May's been hurt. Tony Gonsolin's been hurt.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if I even mentioned, like, Glass is hurt.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. Glass is hurt.
Like, bro, like Roky already having a shoulder injury. I can feel the next Dustin May injury. Oh, I can feel it, bro. Like, I don't know. Whatever.
It's you know what it is too. It's those guys that are, and they all have the same build. If you look at all these guys, I guess not really. I'll get Kershaw out of that mix.
Yeah, Kershaw and Snell don't have that build.
No, but like Glass, fucking Dusty May,
Roky,
all lanky, like no meat on the bones. Just like every time you see them snap a curveball, you're like that. It's their arms. Their UCL is. I can hear it screaming.
Yeah, this is a good point from Jake. It feels like they've been a dynastic run for 10 years. Honestly, the fact that they don't have good development is what has kind of saved the sport. Because if they had good development and good like pitching science, oh my god, like it'd be a bad deal. Like if you gave Glass now to Matt Blake, like you would have Max Fried.
Yeah. Well, honestly, I mean, like shit, we saw like the best versions of Glasnow and Snell were in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay's pitching program is I think just up there with the Yankees and the Guardians now. It's like for me, and I see you, Jake, putting it out. I don't know if it's a Dave Roberts issue. To me, he's not a pitcher's guy, so like that's I don't think it's much of a his issue. To me, when your rotation is struggling, that's more so on the pitching coach and the pitching, I guess, development program, more less so than the manager. For the manager, for me, that's more on like lineup decisions when, substitutions, bullpen, that kind of stuff. The pitchers just being consistently injury prone and really not pitching to their potential in LA, I don't think is a Dave Roberts issue.
I do think that Dave Roberts got bailed out by Dave Roberts got bailed out by Aaron Judge and the Yankees because in Game 5 he emptied the bullets for that to be the closeout game, and they won. But if he would have emptied the bullets and they lost, they would have been in a lot of trouble because they could not afford to empty the bullets and have a long series because of how beat up that pitching staff was.
Yeah. And in game 5 too, that's like, I mean, well, they would have had the off day before game 6, but you're right though. I mean, he went all in, and
well, they would have had to go bullpen game the next game.
Yes,
bullpen or wait. But it was I remember listening to two guys talk about how risky it was for them to empty the tank.
No, I remember it too now, like listening to the broadcast.
Well, because remember, like Yamamoto, like doesn't like he has his own set rest.
Yeah, he wouldn't go on 3 days rest, right? It was the whole thing throughout the playoffs.
And then they
have to go back and look at the
They threw Walker Buehler in that game too.
Yes, they did.
And his elbow was bugging him. Obviously, no Glass, no Snell. Obviously, Roki's not there.
Yeah, so it was.
They emptied the tank in that game, dude.
So it went Flaherty 1, Yamamoto 2, Buehler 3, and then bullpen. They went bullpen in game 4.
Okay, so they went bullpen 4. Yeah, that was it. They went bullpen 4, and then also in game 5 they emptied the bullpen again.
Yes. Yeah, because that was like, all right, they lost game 4, and like that was the bullpen game. So it was like kind of a punt game. But then they went back and like kind of empty. You're right. They emptied the clip back-to-back games with the pen. And again, my thing too is like, like off days, like they don't really mean anything to me in terms of like bullpen guys in playoff series, because this team's already seen you 3 times now. They're going to be on you whether you have a day off or not. It's like, how many times do we see it? I mean, we saw with the Guardians against you guys last year.
I mean, that honestly, that's what helped us. We got you guys because we were seeing that bullpen again and again and again.
I mean, shit, I'll go back to fucking 2016. Like that game 7, Andrew Miller gives up a home run to David Ross. And like that does not happen if Andrew Miller doesn't pitch, 4 times in that series already. Like the Cubs were already on him. They'd seen him plenty of times. Same thing with Brian Shaw in extra innings. Like those guys who were dominant all postseason long, just you cannot rely on those guys going as many times as they did in 2016. And it's the same thing like what we saw with Cade Smith and Clase and Gaddis this past season. So
and the Velo boys when it gets cold, man.
Yeah.
Velo boys when it gets cold.
Yeah, all right. Well, regardless.
Anyway, back to we went down a bizarre rabbit
hole. We
hole.
did, but talk to me about your series over the weekend and specifically the homecoming for Soto and all the theatrics that kind of came with it. I see mixed reactions to all the stuff from opposing fan bases, not Yankees or Mets, but like to me, are you a fan of the whole, we're going to turn our back to Soto?
I am. The bleacher creatures, it's their job to be as obnoxious and as annoying as possible. In fact, if it doesn't make your skin crawl, it means they're not doing a good enough job. Did I think it was cringy? Yes. Did I think it was annoying? Yes. Did I think it was super petty for a guy who was like a 1-year mercenary? Yes. But that's what they're there for. Those are not the non-petty fans. Those are not the non-cringy fans. Those are not the respectful fans. If you are a bleacher creature and Juan Soto's returning to Yankee Stadium, you better make me feel uncomfortable as a fan. You better make other fan bases hate what you're doing because that is your job. So I know you probably didn't like it. And the fact that you didn't like it means the bleacher creatures are doing the right thing. It is your job to be the most ignorant, the most annoying, the most frustrating, the most hated section of fans in the sport. Yeah. When people talk about Yankee fans, they're talking about bleacher creatures when they put this like grand blanket over them. And they needed to be that to live up to that. And no matter what anybody says, Pat, on both sides, this series was important to Yankees fans and it was important to Mets fans. And I knew that the losing side would be like, well, glad this is your World Series. No, this was important to both sides because the trash talking, the comparing has been going on the entire time from the time that Soto signed with the Mets over the Yankees. I loved the series, though. I thought the series was borderline cinematic. It didn't. Now the final scores did not look cinematic because of the late inning, blow the doors open kind of situations. But I thought it was cinematic. I do think it's funny that the Mets are kind of going through what the Yankees went through last year. They have 3 DHs, so they're liabilities defensively.
Yeah.
Like Pete Alonso's not a good first baseman.
No.
Like Mark Vientos is not a good third baseman.
And then Soto.
Juan Soto's a bad right fielder. Now, I will tell you this. Can I tell you I'm surprised? I'm surprised that Juan Soto didn't get hot in this series. I thought it was coming.
Yeah. I still think he's on the Frankie Lindor path where it's like this year's going to be a struggle for him. I think he's, for the first time in his career, he's feeling the pressure of living up to this superstar MVP caliber type of player that we know he is, but you never felt that the pressure was there. It was never there in Washington. It really wasn't there in San Diego. And even in New York last year, it wasn't there because why? You're hitting in front of Aaron Judge. And the pressure's on that guy because he's the one that just signed the massive extension. Mm-hmm. Now, you're the guy in Queens. You're the guy that turned down the Yankees offer. You're the guy that joined the enemy on the other side of town. Mm-hmm. Like that there's so much more pressure on him now, similar to what we saw with Lindor when he signed the big extension with the Mets after getting traded there. He struggled that first year in Queens and couldn't live up to the hype, felt the pressure from the media, the fans, the city. Like, and that was different from him because he was coming from Cleveland and we worshiped the ground he walked on over here. Like he wasn't getting any sort of pushback. And I think that we're going to see this from Soto all year long. I think we'll see Soto regain form next year.
But wasn't the thing about Soto is that there was no moment that was ever too big? Like, why is the moment too big now?
Because he got paid. And the pressure.
So do you think the moment of getting paid is more pressure than being a 19-year-old on a World Series team?
Absolutely.
Okay, well then that's where I guess I lost it, because I thought that Juan Soto and the huge moments in like that was what it was. Like there was no for Juan Soto, there was never a moment that was bigger than Juan Soto. Juan Soto was bigger than every moment, and with that came like a level of swagger. We talked about it like this morning, like the Soto shuffle, like the nodding at the pitcher, the stare downs to opposing dugouts, like those things made it okay. Like, yes, this is a big moment, but this is Juan Soto's big moment. And I thought, as a cinematic player, every at bat was theater. I thought we were going to get theater in this game, and we did not get theater. I mean, game one, Rodon wanted no parts of him, and I thought that might be how the series went. Okay, the Yankees don't want Juan Soto to heat up in this series because no matter what they say, they care about optics, and they would rather Lindor or Alonso beat us. Fine. So what did Rodon do? He walked Juan Soto every time he came up. It's like, okay, like that's what we're gonna get.
Mm-hmm.
But then after that, brother,
Fried got him.
Fried sunk his teeth in and embarrassed Juan Soto on Sunday Night Baseball. Clark Schmidt, whose stuff I don't think is that electric, attacked Juan Soto, and Juan Soto got his only hit of the series against Clark.
Yeah.
So I don't know, man. I you think he'll figure it out next year? I wonder if the Soto magic is gone.
Here's my thing, and this is gonna sound like I'm trashing the Yankees in some sense, but I'm really not. Is this like? I think we might be putting a little too much into what just happened. I think this series meant a lot for you guys in terms of let's show Soto that we don't need him. You know, it's to me, it seems like the Yankees fans were playing into this narrative that this was such a big series, and not that it wasn't. I get what you're saying in that aspect.
I think Juan Soto's body language and demeanor to me is proof enough that they wanted to be the better team. I think Juan Soto has a huge ego, and I think Juan Soto didn't want the Yankees to be better than the Mets when he left.
And again, it's not like they like.
No, the Mets are good. The Mets are good.
Mets still have a better record. It's like
Mets are a good team. The Yankees are a better team than the Mets, right? We can.
I mean, sure.
The Yankees are probably a better team than the Mets.
Probably, yeah. I mean, I like your pitching more than the Mets. I think lineup wise, it's kind of to be determined because we're seeing the Mets win these types of games really without the prime levels of Soto, Lindor, and Alonso. Not Alonso. Alonso's been really good all year. But Soto and Lindor
Alonso's
primarily.
been bad recently. He's been bad recently. It's been weird.
Yeah.
But for the most part, he's been
good. I think when you're talking about this Soto versus the moment thing, we won't truly feel that until late August, early September. If this series took place in September, it's a totally different story. It's May.
Okay, here we go. Why last May was Soto's demeanor so different? Why last May was Soto?
He didn't have the pressure.
Huh?
The pressure wasn't there.
Okay, so the pressure is solely on this contract. Because look, last May he looked like he wanted to be here, like in New York. Like it was loud, it was drama, it was cinema. Things felt like playoff games. We saw the bat flips, we saw the bat throws, we saw the no one better.
He was never relied upon to be the guy.
Okay, so you think it's about being the guy? So if it's about being a guy,
it's both. It's about being the guy. The pressure wasn't there because he wasn't relied upon to be the guy, because he didn't have to live up to a big contract, and because there wasn't the whole offseason drama that just unfolded. Like this series was a culmination of, I think, oh shit, I don't have Aaron Judge protecting me anymore. And I've known that all year long, but it's really hitting me right now.
Yeah.
Oh shit, I'm getting paid all this money by the team crosstown from where I just was last year. Oh yeah. And number 3, I made this whole thing the talk of the whole offseason, and made this long drawn out thing with going back and forth. Who's going to get me? A lot of this pressure now is the reason why he's struggling. But again, I get what you're saying about Soto in the big moments. I just don't think that this was that big of a moment for us to deep dive into it too much.
And I think it was a big enough moment for him. And you know why I think that? Because he signaled to us that maybe this moment was a little bit too big. Juan Soto agreed to be mic'd up on Sunday before the series started. Juan Soto loves the attention. We know that. Juan Soto then begged ESPN not to mic him up 15 minutes before the game on Sunday. If it's not that big of a moment, why are you begging ESPN after you already agreed to not mic you up? If it's not that big of a moment, I don't know if you saw the story that came out on my way home. After the game, he was supposed to answer questions. He told the Mets brass he would answer questions. As he's in the locker room, he leaves without saying goodbye to anybody and telling the reporters that he'll be back to answer questions. If it's not a big moment, why are you doing that?
I think, honestly, it's, for me,
like
a level of embarrassment, and just, again, I don't agree with any of that. You got to be a professional in those moments.
Yeah, no, and that's what I'm saying. I don't think this game was a huge deal, but for a May game, this is about as big of a May game as it can be. And also, you're Juan Soto. You're signaling to us. You're signaling to us that this meant something to you because you were so willing to be mic'd up, and then all of a sudden you're not, and you're avoiding media, you're avoiding everybody.
Yeah. Optically, the way Sunday played out as a whole, because you get, all right, you're not going to get mic'd up 15 minutes before the game. You're going to look embarrassed by Max Fried on a 3-pitch sequence. You're going to half swing at a ball in the 8th inning of a tied game and jog to first base on a play that, if you're sprinting out of the box, you might beat out for a single. And then to close it all up, like you said, you're not going to answer media questions. That's like, it's such a bad look.
So that's what I'm saying. Like yes, it's May. Yes, it's a 3-game series. Yes, it's interleague play. But like, I only think that Juan Soto viewed this as a big moment because he's signaling to me that he viewed this as a big moment. And also, I think, like, optically, the other part of it is like Bellinger hitting the grand slam over your head to ice the game can't feel good.
Yeah. Oh, it's no doubt.
And they've got a series with Boston coming up.
Okay, does that start tonight?
Yep, they got Boston tonight. Hey, get this. The ESPN broadcast, I think, had it out for Juan Soto a little bit after they forced him to mic up Nimmo instead of him.
Yeah.
They spilled the beans on Juan Soto's traveling arrangements. He doesn't travel with the team, I guess. Steve Cohen has him and his family, and they charter a jet. And so they're chartering the jet to Boston. Juan Soto and them are.
Okay.
Does that feel a little Russell Wilson-y to you?
That's exactly what I was thinking.
Okay. I thought it was funny that ESPN dropped this, and I could tell they were a little bit irritated because, like, with all due respect to Brandon Nimmo, who gave a great interview, we don't want to hear from Nimmo.
No, you don't want to hear from.
You want to hear from Lindor? Yeah, I want to hear from Juan Soto, but if it's not Juan Soto, Lindor.
It's that in that series. You don't want to hear anyone else. That's who you want to hear from.
And it's
like just a really bad look.
And like you agreed to do it before the series, and then we get there 15 minutes beforehand. You're begging them not to. So I think this is about the private jet. Jacob, I don't know if he does it all season. But the ESPN broadcast was definitely made comments about the jet that he
took to Boston.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And did you know, Pat, that all that additional stuff in the contract does count against the tax, even if it's not being paid to the player? Yeah.
I did not know that.
Yeah. Because I guess Manfred, had to go in because in the contract there is a separate line of credit for Juan Soto's mom's wardrobe. It was like part of the contract. And like that, I guess, counts against the tax.
Oh, no way. That's insane.
Yeah.
Oh.
Last thing, and then I do want to talk about around baseball. Can we talk about Cashman though? All the guys he got in response to Soto leaving delivered. Yeah.
Mad Max, Bellinger,
Goldschmidt had
the base hit. Yeah. Really, all three of those guys last night are the reason you won that game, and that's all because of Soto's decision.
Mm-hmm. I think we were gonna have Fried and Soto though.
Yeah, Fried is the one for sure, but Belly and Goldschmidt are
right. Like we were already like on the way to getting Fried when the Soto thing happened.
Because Fried was more in relation to not landing Roki.
Yeah, that was that domino effect.
Yeah.
I don't know. I mean, optically, like the plan B looks good. I don't know. I think we probably do get Goldschmidt though.
Maybe, yeah, unless
because we didn't have a first baseman, and like Goldschmidt's not expensive.
How much is he making this year?
Him and Carlos Santana got the same deal.
Fuck.
Because we were waiting on Santana because we liked his glove and his underlying metrics last year were not as bad as Goldschmidt's. Yeah,
I mean, shit, Goldschmidt's run this year has been crazy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 1 year, $12.5 million. Fuck me.
Mm-hmm. Same deal. Oh, here we go. Thanks, Jake. And Devin Williams. Devin Williams getting his revenge on Pete Alonso is a great sub storyline.
Oh, yeah.
Great. I think he struck him out twice in the series. Here we go. Z, need Boston to rally against this Mets team and Shaken Soto. Well, just so you know, Z, now that Juan Soto is facing this level of scrutiny, he's going to go fucking nuclear against you guys.
I was going to say, well, it's going to be one thing or the other. This is going to be a prolonged, if he's really in his own head mentally, I can see him. It's going to go, he's going to have an 0 for 12 series or an 8 for 12 with 4 bombs type of series. There's no in between right now. But yeah, Z, watch out. You might be in trouble.
Bro, did you there was 2 reports that came out today. One was an article that was written about Juan Soto, and the other one was Michael Kay on his radio show. So Michael Kay had to say, so people in the know say that Juan Soto wanted to be a Yankee. He chose the Yankees, but his family wanted him to be a Met, so then he chose the Mets. And then the other article came out that said it was basically detailing that the Mets brass is concerned with Juan Soto's body language and willingness to be around the team, and that it was drastically different when everyone was consoling Pete Alonso, and then he was just excited to see Aaron Judge again. They said that I guess that bothers the Mets brass. Now, it's probably a nothing burger story, and if the Mets are concerned about that, they need to get it the fuck together.
Yeah,
entirely.
I mean,
but I did think it was funny.
No, it's definitely funny. It's just funny to see, and especially, I mean, living there for my whole life, New York sports media is a funny thing, man, because they will take the littlest story and littlest shred of doubt and fear that comes with something like this. I mean, they did the same shit with Lindor when he struggled, and like they will run with it and create these narratives and feed into these rumors that are being spread around the city. And it's like, let's all take a step back and relax here. It's just funny to me too, because the Mets are in first place. The Mets have a better record than the Yankees right now. And the Mets and their fan base and the media surrounding the Mets makes it seem like they are in absolute hell right now.
No, that's why I think that this was a big deal for the Mets fans too, and the Yankee fans, because I don't know if you've been in one of the Mets communities.
I mean, I don't typically like venture into those communities. I laugh because like I have, I mean, shit, all like handfuls of people that I know from back home that are Mets fans, and what they post on social media is just funny to me because it's all like, it's honestly, it's very similar to what you both are doing as fan bases right now. It's like constantly comparing to the other right now and what Soto wants more. And it's like, we haven't seen this level of Yankees and Mets fans caring about the other team in forever. Like, I can't remember the last time we felt like that the other fan base cared so much about the other one.
Well, honestly, it's because like, even though deep down, I think the Yankee fans have always cared about Mets fans, but it got quieted by the Jeter line.
They're just the Mets.
They're just the Mets.
Yeah.
We weren't worried about 01.
I mean, to me, it's almost like the Ohio State-Penn State rivalry. Sure, it's a rivalry, but like that's not your main op. It never will be your main op. So like,
to me, it's Ohio State-Clemson.
All right, yeah, I guess that because it's the out of conference. Yeah. No, that's probably a better example from recent years.
Yeah, and like that was who Ohio State, like in that meantime, would like, that was the recruiting battles. Like we got a Mecca to go to Ohio State over Clemson. Like we were in a battle with Clemson for like Bo Collins and like Troy Stellato.
Yeah.
So I don't know. The Mets are funny, but I am rooting for the Mets this next week.
I mean, yeah, you have to. You want to keep that lead in the division.
Yeah, so they better not let me down. I'm trying to see, what do we have next?
So I know we have the Twins and the Tigers this week. I think you guys have Texas that I see.
Yes, we got Ben Vargo's in here. We were talking about it.
We got you guys are off today, right?
Yeah,
off today, so starting tomorrow.
Hey, and DeGrom is cold now. I don't know if you know he's back.
Oh yeah, dude.
ERA 2.2. He's touching 98 again.
We've got some interesting matchups for like pitching matchups for you guys. Patrick Corbin versus Will Warren tomorrow is funny because I feel like every meme I've seen in the last week is how Patrick Corbin is dominant in Trump presidencies and not in Biden or Obama. So this resurgence of Patrick Corbin's career versus a young Will Warren has the potential to be a really good pitching matchup. Do you guys face DeGrom?
Yeah, and Eovaldi.
Okay, Wednesday is DeGrom versus Yarbrough. That is tough. And then who do you guys have going Thursday?
Oh,
Eovaldi versus Rodon. There's cinema right there.
Yep. And Warren was supposed to be a Ranger.
Oh, was he now?
He was one of the prospects that was rumored down there back in the day for the trade stuff.
Okay. Did not realize that.
Let me look, because I remember it got reported that Will Warren was on the move to the Rangers, but I obviously.
Okay. Yeah. And then apparently, I think I saw Jacob say that we somehow miss Scooble in the Tribe Tiger series. Because Scooble goes when next? He goes Tuesday. No, so we'll face Scooble because it's a 4-game set with us. So we'll face Scooble. Damn, are we Sunday Night Baseball? Because we might get Scooble. No, we're 11:35 start on.
I thought somebody said the Mets are Sunday Night Baseball back-to-back weeks.
They are. You're right, because they play Philly this upcoming week.
I thought they had the Dodgers.
No, the Dodgers. That's right. It's the Dodgers.
Yeah, I think it was because Josh Smith got traded to the Rangers. And it was supposed to be Will Warren.
Okay.
Yeah.
Damn. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't realize Will Warren was supposed to be part of that deal.
Well, just because I didn't even touch on it, DJ LeMahieu's back in action. The machine.
The machine, dude. It was funny. I was what was it I was at a wedding this past weekend with a bunch of all my guy friends from home, and 90% of them are Yankee fans. And so we're talking the whole weekend, and my buddy shows me the update. I mean, you guys played what, like 1 o'clock was that a 1 o'clock game on Saturday? I can't remember what time it was, but at one point my buddy shows me the highlight on his phone, and he's like, "The machine is back." I was like, "You're fucking kidding me!"
Bro, he had the home run.
Mm-hmm. That was out in 4 of 30 ballparks, I believe.
Hey, if it's more than 2, nothing you can do. And then Bellies was out in 5.
Yeah, dude. The Mickey Mouse home runs are in full swing.
Oh, dude, it was the Joey Gallo trade.
That's what I was trying to think. I was like, was that the IKF deal? But the IKF deal was originally because he got traded from Texas to Minnesota, and then from Minnesota to you guys.
It was supposed to be Will Warren in the Gallo trade.
Wow, that's crazy.
Yeah, but he was the pitching prospect. Fucking crazy, dude.
Yeah, that's so funny.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of what other storylines we had over the weekend. Oh, Cal Quantrill, immaculate inning.
Oh, immaculate inning, dude. Hey, shout out Cal Quantrill. He's a funny guy, man, because he'll never jump out on the stat sheet at you, but to me, he's one of my favorite pitchers in recent Tribe history, just because he's so consistently mediocre.
Yeah, bro, his stuff isn't crazy.
No, it's not good.
His stuff is so regular, bro.
Yeah, it's like not good at all.
It's even like that was the most boring immaculate inning I've ever seen.
Yeah, but I just love it because he throws 6 different pitches and just like is just gonna hope that you're not hitting the ball hard on that day. Because if you are, you're gonna tattoo him. But if you're not, I mean, shit, he's got a 6.3 ERA on the season.
Yeah, bro.
Shout out Cal Quantrill.
Expected batting average 304, fastball below 93.
Yeah, it's not good.
No, he gave us one. He gave us the oh, dude. Also, fuck, did I watch the San Fran game? Through 80 pitches, Justin Verlander threw 2 4-seamers for strikes.
No way.
Only 2, dude.
Is he cooked?
At least according to the broadcast. So yeah, no, he's cooked. But but they just made a big shit. What's the light skinned kid's name that was a relief pitcher that they moved to a starter?
Oh, Jordan Hicks.
Yeah, he just got moved to the bullpen.
Really?
Yeah, they're kicking into the bullpen.
Okay, because he was what was that? St. Louis was where he was out of the pen.
Yep.
And then
they signed. He went to San Fran. They paid him all that. They paid him to be a starter.
He was a good starter last year.
Yeah, I think his stuff is good, man.
Oh, he's been asked this year.
He's been bad. His stuff is good. He's been asked though.
Damn, he was really. I was shocked last year when he started out so well. I was like, damn, because I thought he was a good weapon out of the pen.
Bro, he went there to be a starting pitcher.
Yeah,
that was it.
Back to the pen.
Yeah, it's bizarre, bro, because like his ground ball rate is 60% for a hard thrower. Yeah, and that should project as like a good pitcher, but it's not because there's such hard hit.
Well, it's because he throws. I mean, his primary pitch is a sinker, I believe,
actually,
and he throws it.
His underlying metrics are confusing because his average exit velo is not even that high, and his ground ball rate's really high. He just can't get outs.
Yeah, I mean his xERA is shit
3.73. That's
I mean he's getting really unlucky. His ERA is 6.5, so it's like, he's getting severely unlucky.
We can fix him.
It's just funny because like normally you see, I don't know, like he was always such a good reliever with St. Louis. I guess his walk rate was really bad. That's probably why they moved him. But do
you ever look at the the stuff on pitchers, like who their stuff most compares to?
Oh,
on, like, 2025 Skeens, 2024 Brian Wu, 2022 Luis Ortiz.
That's hilarious.
Yeah. That means that sounds like he's getting pretty unlucky. And like for a pitcher like that, bro, Triples Alley is scary, man.
Yeah, no, that's 100%, dude. That's like,
it's a big ballpark.
It's a massive ballpark. But honestly, St. Louis is a big ballpark too, and that never. Yeah. But when you got to pitch 6 innings instead of 1, that definitely takes its toll too.
Paul Skeens trade rumors continue to bubble a little bit. I don't know if you saw through his first career complete game.
Yeah, but
And
they lost.
1-0 loss when it was the good old 8-inning complete game. I don't know.
Yep.
Should those be scored as CGs to you or no?
I mean, to me, it's like, yeah, you threw the entirety of the game.
And it's like not your fault most times that.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, he lost, and the kid that threw for the Phillies is getting sent back down, I think.
Yeah, but I'm curious because I was looking today. Who was the kid that threw for them again?
Mick Abel, right?
Because they might need to call him back up because Nola's on the IL. Because I had to make some fantasy moves.
Yeah, dude. Well, if he stays up,
Okay.
no, dude. This today, 30 minutes ago, the Phillies returned Mick Abel to AAA after his historic MLB debut. They already sent him down for assignment.
So their rotation now, it's Christopher Sanchez. They have who's going Tuesday for them? Luzardo. Then Taijuan Walker. He might be. I don't think was he hurt. I feel like I haven't seen his name in a while. But they still all right. So they have TBA for Thursday, and then I'm guessing Friday too. But I mean, aside from Zach Wheeler, obviously he's going to pitch one of those days. So they might call the kid up for potentially Thursday or Friday.
Well, the fact that they sent him down and burned an option is crazy.
Yeah.
But keep him up.
Yeah, that's wild.
Get this dude on his one start, dude. The whiff rate, 37%. The strikeout rate, 40%.
That's insane.
And I think, let's see, balls and strikes. He was so good, man. Whip 0.83. 6 innings pitched. Dude, he was so good, dude. Why? And he was dotting guys up, but also it's the Pirates lineup.
That's true. He's a tiny kid though. Like they're not tiny, but just rail thin.
Oh yeah, no, dude. 6'5", 190. We're talking about
Yeah,
Tommy John.
He's got the typical LA Dodger build.
Yeah, he's a Dodger.
But yeah, dude, that it'll be interesting to see what they do with him. But he's a guy that I might need to pick up in fantasy.
I'm contemplating it, but he got sent down, so I can't do it right now. Right now, I'm just starting whoever pitches against the Pirates.
Okay, yeah, that's some way to go. Who do we got tonight? We've got Nick Lodolo. So
yep, already picked him up. Picked him up this morning in studio. So we're good.
That's awesome.
We are good. Another quick note: Paul Skeens is playing in the World Baseball Classic.
Yes, that's right. I saw that over the weekend.
Hey, look, my captain has pull. Called him. I know you hate the Pirates. Come pitch in the World Baseball Classic. Get around some winners. I know you played for Air Force. I know you want to feel something. Come on over. And boom, he's in. And honestly, the reason why pitchers don't pitch in the World Baseball Classic is because they never, ever, ever have their team support. So they'll never do it. But Paul Skeens hates the Pirates.
And that's it, man.
And then my last thing, and then I'll toss it to you. I want to give a shout out to the next Garrett Cole. I know you thought it was going to be Gavin Williams, but I found him to a T. He's identical to Garrett Cole.
Who is it?
Chase Dollander.
Oh, dude, he the Rockies pitcher.
Yeah, he was a high draft pick.
Yeah,
like always been an electric prospect.
I
don't know how if you've watched him throw. I'm gonna overlay it to Garrett Cole. It's the same thing,
dude. It's funny because I've been cashing out on his strikeout props for a decent amount of his starts this year. They're always extremely low because he plays in Colorado, so like never a good thing. But like his line is consistently like 3.5, 4.5, and my model absolutely loves his strikeouts every time he goes. So I've been playing his over strikeouts, and they've been killer.
Dude,
his game log this year 6.75 3.4076. So he's gone over 3.5. I think 5 of his 8 starts. And that's typically what his line is set at. So look out for Dollander, Chase Dollander lines if you're into strikeout props.
I think he took a couple no-hitters late. Like he took a no-hitter late this year, like into a game.
Yeah,
I mean, up by a 2-run home run.
Okay. Yeah, he went 6 innings, 1 hit against Texas. He had 5 2/3, only 2 hits allowed against Atlanta. He's been banged up a couple times, but he has the strikeout stuff, which I like in my young pitchers.
Bro, you're telling me this isn't Garrett Cole? That's Garrett Cole, bro. You don't see it, do you?
I see it a little bit. I still think Gavin is more Garrett Cole.
Nah, dude, this kid is fucking Garrett.
He doesn't explode with his backside as much
as Garrett.
His back foot, yeah.
See, I guess I never really saw that much explosion from Garrett.
I just feel like his back leg just really pushes forward. He's also, yeah, I don't know. I feel like Garrett and Gavin are a little bigger.
I just see it. I just see it.
I just need it to be Gavin, dude. It needs to be Gavin.
Yeah, okay.
Hey, it's a big week for our ERA bet.
Every week's a big week for our ERA bet.
Yeah, but this one especially because we're going against divisional opponents. So like we need it. We need prime. If we can't get Gavin pitching well this week against Minnesota and Detroit, then we're in trouble.
Yeah, well, I mean that's big for your division, but I'm talking about for the ERA bet.
Yeah.
I mean, I think what's it called only had one earned.
What on Friday?
Yeah.
Yeah, ERA is back down to 3.17.
Dude, I'm gonna overlay
3.49.
I'm gonna overlay these for you, bro, because they're so crazy close.
You know what we got to do? The what is it called? Batter up or pitcher up?
I'm so awful at those.
But I'm curious, like if you took Gavin, Chase Dollander, and Garrett Cole and put them 3 side by side, if we could correctly pick which one was who.
Issue is I'm watching so much of this Chase kid, so I can see it.
Mm-hmm.
Here, like we'll do it one more time. That's Chase. Share screen. All right. Here's Chase again.
Yep.
All right.
Okay.
Pull it. And then to me it just looks so close. And honestly, I think it's because it's the Yankees version instead of the Astros version. Bro, that's it, dude. You don't see it.
I still think
I'm gonna have to overlay because I see it. I see it.
And maybe I just need to watch a little more Dollander. Yeah. So
I'll overlay it. Mm-hmm. What else happened? CJ Abrams is the shortstop that I want now. Whenever we're done with Volpe.
Dude, the Nats are kind of nice.
Dude, well, they benefited from Juan Soto. I'm just saying, everywhere that Juan Soto left, it just got better.
Yeah, because they all got a haul in return, except for y'all.
We didn't get a haul, and we were crazy.
Yeah, but you guys can spend money, like so that doesn't count.
Yeah, but that's all I got, man. This is a good show today.
Yeah, absolutely. Same here. Yeah, we'll be back. Probably Thursday.
Oh, here we go. Wait. I want to throw this up here just for you, Pat. I'm convinced James Wood is the chosen one. Pat and I talk about James Wood, I think, more than anybody else, like just off camera.
Yeah,
I love James.
He's fucking disgusting, dude. His exit velos are crazy. I mean, his swing is so easy.
Yeah.
And like generates so much power. To me, it's like, I know we've talked about him like a lot off air compared to like O'Neal Cruz, and even Ellie kind of is like that.
Yeah, like those are the 3 like power mongers. To
me, it's like, I think James Wood, I might be convinced that he's better than, because for me, it's like, all right, Ellie gets all the star power and the flash. I think James Wood is better though. Just
the issue is James Wood of the 3 is the worst defender.
Yeah, but
he does have he gets his credit for getting throwing a ground out to first this year.
That's actually wild.
Yeah, I'm just saying, bro. Like CJ Abrams, and I mean, whenever Giancarlo's gone, you guys are about to hire Jeter, and then we're about to get sent over.
Enough with you.
All right, bro. Get us out of here.
All right. This is us on Painting Corners delivering you another episode, and we'll be back later this week. Strike 3. We're out.